Hi everybody, Thalia here, and today I will be talking about Aoharu x Kikanjuu, or also known as Aoharu x Aoharu. Wow, Aoharu x Machine Gun. That's the name. That's how you do words. Yeah, good job. Anyways, this was one of my favorites from last year. It is a comedy shonen action kind of anime. A lot of comedy, and there's also some gender bent stuff in there as well. This one was pretty special to me because of the comedy and the characters, but the show also has a lot of problems, so I will be talking about that later. But first, let us start with the synopsis of Aoharu x Kikanjuu. Tachibana is a girl who likes to disguise herself as a boy. She's a very friendly and sweet girl until you talk shit about her or someone else or use her friends. That's where she will fight for justice and go after the person who did something wrong. This is exactly what happened and what got her in trouble. She tried to defend a friend who is being tricked by some host at a host club. As Tachibana arrives at the host club, she gets challenged by Matsuoka, the host, to play a survival game with him, and there's a lot of action from episode 1 as they battle with toy guns to hit each other first, and it's really intense and kind of insane. In a good way. In the end, she finds out that it was all a misunderstanding and that her friend isn't in danger, so because of that, she caused a lot of trouble and damage to the host club, and now she has to pay back Matsuoka by being on his survival team called Toy Gun Gun. On the team is another member called Yukimura Toru, who is quite special and doesn't make friends that easy. There's also one problem: Toy Gun Gun doesn't allow females in their team, and as they haven't found out yet that she is a female, she needs to keep that fact hidden from them and try to survive. Get it? Survive. Survival games. Hehehe. This one, when I first started the series and I saw the first few episodes, I was like, oh man, this is like Uren High School Host Club, but with toy guns and survival games, which sounds pretty dope, to be honest, and it was, and it has been for the whole series, to be honest. But this series, you can't misunderstand it for just like some kind of shoujo comedy kind of series. It feels more like a sports series. As weird as it sounds, it feels like a sports series because of the survival games and them playing with their guns the whole time. It is pretty entertaining and it gets pretty intense when the fights are going on, and there's actually a tournament going on as well and competitions and all of that stuff, so it is really exciting and it is really fun that way. So yeah, for me it is more like a sports action kind of series with some comedy thrown in there, and for me that is an awesome combination. I really like that. Also, talking about that, I feel like they definitely put more attention to like the fights and just their team instead of the relationship between Tachibana, the girl, and Yukimura and Matsuoka. They do focus on them all together and them developing together and getting to know each other, but they don't really go into the fact that she is a girl. And that might be something that can disturb a lot of people or just annoy a lot of people because they don't go into that. I guess that is the only thing that I didn't really like about the show, because it had 12 episodes, which was pretty good for this one. It could have gotten 24 episodes, but the manga is still publishing, so I have no idea where they are in the manga right now, or if they have to catch up first to make more of the anime, because honestly it would be good if they would get a second season, because at the end of the first season there was stuff solved, and like I said, they developed and they get along, and there's rivals and all of that stuff. Like, there's good action, and I was really glad with how it ended, but and how the whole series was, but there were things that weren't solved yet at all. And then they were like, oh, we're gonna release a 13th episode of this series, and I was like, oh man, cool, maybe the 13th episode will explain a lot of stuff and that will be the end and it will be closure for the series. That would be cool. That did not happen. So I'm not gonna say I was disappointed by that, because the special episode was super funny. I really recommend you checking it out if you have seen the series already, and if you are going to watch the series, please watch the special episode. It's just called episode 13, and it is so good. It is so funny. It involves kind of minor spoiler, I guess, but it involves cosplaying and survival games. So there's a lot of funny moments. You can kind of compare it with the OVA of Free Eternal Summer, where they were like battling with water guns. Well, this is kind of the same, but with cosplaying. So it's insane. It's really nice. I really enjoyed it. It was super good. Like I told you before, they do focus on the characters quite a lot in the series, and it mostly happens when the fights are going on or before a big fight or all of that. But I do have to say, for them developing the characters, they did a good job, but they could have done so much more in one way. Like, it was a lot of comedy thrown into there, which I loved, but if it would have been 24 episodes, they could have focused more on the development and the whole fact that there is a girl involved. They are not 3 guys, it is a girl. Tachibana, her being a girl disguised as a boy, they did such a good job on that, because a lot of times when I saw her in the series, I was like, oh, there he is again. Sometimes I was confused and I was like, oh, this is a guy, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to remember the first few episodes where they actually explain she is a girl. But of course there's a downside to that, because they don't really explain why she dresses up like a boy and why she is that way. So I'm kind of still curious about that, and I'm just wondering how they do it in the manga and if they have more information on that already. So for me, right now, I'm really curious to check out the manga. I've also heard that the first volume will be translated and it will come out very soon, so I will definitely buy that. I just really want to know what happens after the series. So, in one way, that is a good thing, because the series I enjoyed a lot and I really want to know what happens. But the fact that the series doesn't really have any closure is something that might put people off from watching this. So for me, I would recommend you to watch this series, but don't expect any closure. Just enjoy the comedy and the characters, because the characters are amazing, and Yukimura Toru is best boy, obviously. Both of the guys actually made it to like my best male characters from last year. If there will be a second season, which I hope there will be, because it would be such a shame if they don't, I would just recommend you to wait and watch the 2 seasons. So it depends when you are watching this video, I guess, if there is a second season already or not, or if the manga has finished, for example, you can read the manga instead, because I've heard that the manga is really good as well. So yeah, who knows. Otherwise, I love the animation, I love the sound. It is done by Brainspace, and the animation when the fights are going on, it looks so good. It looks really nice. The shotguns, all of that, the bullet shots, really cool. And the sounds I like as well. Nothing that was like, oh, what is this? It was really enjoyable. But also, I have to admit, the sound isn't something that was really something that I will remember forever. It's just, it fitted the anime, and that is it. So overall, I'm content with all of that. The background music was only like really noticeable when the fights were going on and when there was a lot of action, or when there were some emotional moments, because yes, that does happen too, because development and all of that stuff, and the characters actually have some sad backgrounds. So yeah, that is interesting. The opening and ending song were really good as well. I really enjoyed the opening song. I guess that was my favorite. Then the ending song is good as well. I just watched both of them all of the time. So yeah, that's a good thing. The animation for them were pretty simple though, but I think it fits the series, so I have no problems with that. So yeah, that was my review for Aoharu x Kikanjuu. I hope you enjoyed it. I do recommend this series if you like some good action and comedy. Especially the comedy was something that I really liked, and the characters are very special and different from each other, which is always a good thing, and I think the characters is something that I enjoy the most. So if you like some cool, nice looking guys who are pretty special and have some interesting hobbies, and then have a gender bent girl in there, I mean, I think that's a pretty special plot on its own, with some BB gun fights and all of that. I mean, for me, it sounded perfect, and it was pretty perfect for me, despite the negative things that I said, but I can overlook that. So for me, it is all fine. So that is my conclusion of the review. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye!